Hey guys, hey there, ho there, hi there. Been getting a ton of questions on as we're transitioning into the new normal and all that kind of stuff on what should people be doing to optimize their business. And so I'm going to do a series of some short videos here, but wanted to help everyone out. So the first video is, right, let me see, here we go. I can't even get it right here. Working on your cash flow. So be a cash flow pro. So this is the first video in four that I'm going to do. I'm going to knock these bad boys out to try to get as much out to everyone as quickly as possible. So the first thing we want to do, and you should be doing right now, and hopefully you've already done this, but you might need to redo it again and recalculate it. And that is to make sure you understand what your break-even points are in your business on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. So for example, you know how much revenue you need to be bringing in on a daily basis just to cover your expenses, all of your expenses. You need to take everything into consideration, not just your operational costs, but also your overhead costs. So that's very important because that's going to help you determine a whole bunch of different things. But when to hire, when potentially you have to lay some people off, hopefully not only hiring going forward, but hiring when you're going to expand, opening additional locations, things like that. So really important there. The second thing you want to look at doing right now is, if you haven't done this already, is how to monetize your current inventory. So if you're sitting on a bunch of inventory, that is just eating up your cash, right? So how can you monetize that? That could be old inventory that's just sitting out there, and maybe even it's kind of obsolete, or depending on what type of business you have, it might be some old style of whatever. Offer it a discount, monetize it. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there. It's doing you no good whatsoever. Get some cash out of it to improve your cash flow. And again, monetize that inventory. And you could even, if you're strapped for cash, you could even monetize your existing inventory just at a discount. So of course your margins are going to go down, but if you need the cash, you need the cash. Cash flow is king, as I always say on Mr. Biz Radio. So the next thing you want to do, if you haven't done this already, is be proactive with your clients and your customers, specifically with accounts receivable. So, potentially find out who's in trouble, right? That can help set your expectations, and you can determine how you might be able to help them. So you might call someone and they say, gosh, man, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this. I'm struggling, et cetera, et cetera. At least then you would know, first of all, again, how much you might be able to help them. So you might be able to offer them some tips. You might be able to put them on a payment plan, but also to help you understand, hey, I can probably expect I'm not going to get this money. And you can forecast your money and your finances and your cash flow accordingly. So very, very important. Be very proactive. If you haven't done that already, I strongly suggest you start making those phone calls now, at least to the folks that still owe you money that are out there, that any accounts receivable you have. So again, you can get a better idea and a picture of, A, is anyone in trouble? And B, when can I expect to get this money, type of thing. And again, how can you help them? And they might be in a situation to where you are a cash flow pro, and you might be able to help them make a few suggestions that help them get out of the situation that they're in. So very important there. Proactively calling your vendors. Here's another important one. This is going to help you mitigate some risk potentially. You might have some vendors that you depend on for supplies and materials that maybe they're having financial difficulty right now, and they're not sure if they're going to reopen, or they're at limited capacity. So maybe they're at 50% capacity. And so you can't depend on the same SLA, service level agreements, to get materials to make your widgets, for example. So very important there. And that'll also give you an indication, again, do you need to come up with a plan B? Hopefully you already have a plan B, but do you need to enact a plan B? So if your main vendor, your primary vendor you use for a particular raw material, let's say, is in trouble and is not at full capacity, how can you enact plan B? So maybe they can only give you 50% of the normal during this, using the same time frames, as far as, if you make an order within 3 days, they send you the raw materials. If they can only do that at 50% capacity, it's time to kick in the plan B to make up that other 50%, so you don't impact your customers, right? So very, very important there. I guess the last thing I'll mention is, for any of you guys out there that maybe have applied for and received, or are waiting to receive any government funds, whether it be through the PPE, the EIDL, et cetera, et cetera. There's a bunch of different programs at this point, and there's a second wave coming through here very soon. You got to make a plan for deployment. Whether you just receive the cash or waiting on the cash, make a very sharp, detailed plan of exactly what you're going to do with the money, how you're going to spend it, how you're going to deploy it, because you don't want to waste it. This is a huge opportunity to utilize those funds in a way that could help grow your business. This is really going to set you up for the future. So you want to make sure you're doing that in a very thoughtful way. This will also help when you're going to re-engage some of your resources, when you're going to start pushing sales again, when it's time to ramp up. Use it as an opportunity to seize some market share. So very, very important there. Some of your competitors won't make it through this, unfortunately. And so it's an opportunity. Make sure you're deploying that money in the most effective way. All right, that's it for this one, guys. Again, this is only part 1 of 4. I'm going to do 3 other videos that are helping optimize your business and get it ready for the new normal, launching you out of the lockdown and getting yourself prepared to be successful. So that's it for this one, guys. Stay tuned for the other 3 parts. See you soon, guys.